Yo, it's boy Marcus and Warsini back with a video. Today we're going to be talking about gentlemen's agreements in COD Mobile, why they don't exist, what are they, how they work, what it would be like in COD Mobile, and things of that nature, right? So what is a gentleman's agreement? Now, this is something that we have on the console side of Call of Duty Ranked. You know what I mean? It's just, it goes along and is synonymous with competitive Call of Duty on console, but it's never been a thing in COD Mobile. And there's a few reasons for that, but we got to cover what a gentleman's agreement is. So genuinely and generally, a gentleman's agreement is an agreement between all the pro players to not use something that breaks the game in any capacity, right? So like snaking. So snaking on console in Black Ops 6 is a feature that is super easily abused and gives you an insane advantage. Snaking in COD Mobile, not that big of a deal. COD Mobile has BO4 style movement, so snaking isn't really a problem in this game. Now, if it had movement like a lot of other Call of Duty games, snaking would be a legit problem. You know what I mean? Because snaking's cheesy. It's very easy to abuse. It literally makes it to where you can be shooting at somebody and they cannot physically see you yet. I could put in some examples of snaking and how that actually works. So it might be at the end of the video. Anyway, it could be anything from like a abusable mechanic to a gun, right? A gun could be GA'd, or perks could be GA'd, or lethals and tacticals could be GA'd, right? They're just like Molotovs. They're too good. You know what I mean? You can't have them in ranked, right? You throw it on the flag and nobody gets to touch the flag for 10 seconds. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? You just spawn in and throw one on the flag and next thing you know, you're good. So that's a problem, right? Sometimes they GA things like no more than 2 trophy systems on one team. That way there's not trophies everywhere, and then there's no reason to have good lethal usage because there's trophies everywhere and everybody gets a new trophy every life, right? So in COD Mobile, we would need something like that. Like you get 1 trophy, right? And then you only get to use frag grenades or semtexes, right? You can't be using like thermites or trip mines or trip sensors. It's like the super cheesy stuff. That stuff would go, right? To make it a more fair and competitive game to actually test like the competitive integrity of COD Mobile and how good players actually are. You know what I mean? You would ideally want the game to be as many one-on-one gunfight skill being shown there. You don't really want people to just be chucking contact grenades all over the place every time they spawn in. That's cheesy and it needs to go. But why don't we have that kind of stigma already in COD Mobile, right? That's been a thing for console COD. And if you play any console COD ranked system, 90% of the people, after you hit like a certain point in that rank, they're going to be following GAs, right? Anytime, if you're iridescent in BO6, like those people are probably following GAs, right? They know the GAs, they follow the scene, they know what you can and can't use, what you shouldn't use, what you need to swap out on your gun, if barrels get banned or whatever. So that doesn't exist in COD Mobile. We don't have anything that's like, there's nobody in the community that's running a GA list and people actually follow that because COD Mobile is way more casual, right? Because ranked in COD Mobile is super casual. Like literally anybody with a thumb. You don't even need 2 thumbs. You don't even need 2 fingers. If you could have 1 finger or no fingers, you don't even have to. It's so insane. It takes 0 skill to hit legendary, right? And that's the highest level. Everybody's legendary. So with that being what it is, it's really hard to justify that way of integrating like GAs into the game, right? GAs are just not, it simply doesn't matter because GAs just don't have any effect because it's just too casual. A lot of the casual players still make it to legendary ranked and they have no idea about anything competitive wise with COD Mobile. You know what I mean? What would be banned, what's not allowed. So that's kind of something where the developers have to step up and just straight outright ban stuff. There needs to be a ban system, but we don't have that, right? So it leaves it up to us to kind of police it, but you can't leave that to the people, right? Because people don't know what GAs are. There's nobody enforcing it. It's just kind of like an honor. You know what I mean? Like a scout's honor. There's no honor among thieves. That's more like what COD Mobile is, right? nobody has any honor. Nobody has any integrity. Nobody wants to play a straight up game. Everybody is just abusing whatever the stupidest stuff is in the game, right? You got SKSs everywhere with trip mines and trip sensors. That being said, so how could we enforce GAs? Generally, you would probably start with, I think, from the people, and they would kind of have to start with channels. It's really difficult to get this out to be like widespread to where people would want to follow GAs in your normal old COD ranked lobby, right? It's a lot easier to enforce in a private match, you know what I mean? But in a normal COD mobile ranked lobby, very difficult to enforce GAs because it's simply not feasible. People don't really care, don't want to follow those things. They just want to whip out their Thermite Mana War and be cheesy. So it's very difficult to even have that be possible. But if you could get, a lot of the big content creators with a little bit more push to kind of get out there and be like, hey, let's follow some GAs. Let's not use any of this broken stuff. You know what I mean? You'd need people like Ferg or Bobby or Noah. Just any of the big names that you're thinking of off your head to kind of push that out there, push that prop. And once they do that, other people sort of follow it and they'll get into it and then it'll sort of iron itself out. But until then, it's not really going to be that way. It's going to be a lot more difficult to see that through. Now, what are my thoughts on the potential for GAs to come to this game if they ever actually happened? I think we'd actually get a ban system before GAs could properly be implemented to make the game better from just a casual ranked POV. You know what I mean? Like, ranked is just never going to be that way. The only way ranked will ever change is if we get a ban system in. Otherwise, ranked will stay the way it is, and it'll just be pubs, but with an actual ranked system. Another thing I wanted to say about GAs is, why is it important? We need a little bit of regulation with the stuff that's in this game right now. There's too much stuff that's easily abused. There's too much cheese. There's too much bullshit. We got to get some of it out, right? And the best way to do that we currently have is, to kind of implement a GA system. Like in the game, just no cheesy stuff, none of the BS, you know what I mean? Stuff like that everybody knows is really annoying and shouldn't be in the game or shouldn't be used, that they hate, right? If you hate dying to it, then don't use it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody hates trip mines, except for the losers that use trip mines. You know what I mean? Everybody hates trip sensors, except for the losers that use trip sensors. Everybody hates the SKS, except for losers who use the SKS. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of cheesy things in the game that got to go, but we can't really get them to go because people just don't really know what they have in terms of like, hey, we could make this game a lot better in terms of how it plays from a competitive point of view. That being said, I feel like I've kind of covered the whole GA spectrum. Obviously, if you have any questions, comment down below. I'd be happy to kind of go into detail and explain GAs in a better format. This right here looks to be one of our last rounds, 2v3. Able to get that kill, help my teammate out. Just doing my part. I haven't really been posting much lately. I've been super busy and kind of like on back-to-back vacations and just it's been nuts. But I'm going to hop back on it. Hopefully I can squeeze back in the top 5K before this season ends, but it's going to be rough. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Be back on this regular upload grind coming up this week, starting today. So you'll start seeing a lot more content getting popped out and things I have to talk about, topics, things of that nature. So thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. I appreciate the support on the channel. Road to 1K. We're almost there. And yeah, it's been your boy Marcus from Orsini. I'm out of here. Peace.